What is going on, guys? All right, so as part of my series of reviews for the Halloween franchise leading up all the way to Halloween Kills, let's go ahead and start with Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Alright, so Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is the third installment in the whole franchise. I already reviewed the first and second film, so if you haven't seen it, I'll have links there in the description. Alright, so if you were one of those people that was expecting Michael Myers, then about 10 to 15 minutes into the movie, you start to realize, yeah, something doesn't feel right. It was one of those movies where John Carpenter wanted it to be more of a standalone film, but it wanted to take this series to a new direction. I'm not gonna go too deep into the history because you probably already know. But for those of you that don't know, it didn't. He didn't want to be just Michael Myers. He pretty much wanted to be some sort of adult Goosebumps series along to keep that franchise going. Each film is going to be different story, different characters, much like Goosebumps, but instead it's going to be more for adults, more targeted for adults instead of kids or teenagers. Pretty much, we were not going to have this crap. This film was actually really hated by people. People didn't receive it well because they wanted to have Michael Myers back, but you know what? Within time, it started to grow on people, and people are realizing, hey, this film is not bad. And yes, I am one of those people that will highly support this film because I don't think this movie is bad at all. I was really entertained. I think as a standalone film, it's become a cult classic in my opinion. We have Dan Chalice, who's this doctor who's divorced because he works too much, and then well, that's what we think at first, but then we realize, yeah, this guy's a player. I mean, every woman who he's associated with, he just can't keep his hands off of them. So it's like no wonder you divorced. Movie starts off with this guy getting attacked, he's getting chased, and he ends up going to the hospital where Dan Chalice works at, and then he ends up getting murdered. So now something's not adding up, and Dan decides to take matters into his own hands, and he ends up meeting this guy's daughter, and then they team up, they band together, and they go and want to solve this mystery of who was chasing this guy. And then they end up in this weird, creepy town that's ran by Mr. Cochran, this creepy old white guy who just seems to have everything under control. He's clearly hiding something. Everybody here is weird. Like, they're driving through town. It's one of those towns that still exists today where you're just driving through and they know that you're not from there. Or it's like Chinatown when you're just trying to go grab some food and then all eyes are on you and you're just looking at everybody like, bruh, quit staring at me. But no, they stay because they have to solve this mystery, and then they end up getting a hotel somewhere. And of course, they both try to play it off. They both try to act stupid, saying, oh, yeah, should we get 2 rooms? Yeah, I just figured we just got 1 room. Should we get another one? And then the girl's like, oh, where do you want to sleep? That's where it starts getting kind of weird because it's just a man who's trying to help this girl out, and this girl, her father just died. So it's like they were trying to band together, but then they end up having sex along this whole journey. So it's like, okay, do you not care that your father just died in it, but then you're having sex with just some guy you met just a day ago? No, that doesn't matter. It's just a little nitpick. So anyway, let's keep going with the story. As we go along, as they try to make their way into the factory without really causing too much attention, and when they get into this town, it really starts building up the tension. It really starts building up this mysterious factor. You don't know what they're gonna get themselves into. You're right along with them throughout this whole ride. And towards the end, we find out that this guy, Cochran, he has an evil master plan. That the reason why he makes these Halloween masks is because he's trying to make the children wear them by forcing them to wear them by doing some sort of big giveaway. And there's a certain time on Halloween night that they all have to be in front of their TVs. And then when this flashing pumpkin comes on and it plays this really creepy song that till this day I remember, because the first time I saw this movie, this song, this creepy song, has not left my head. Yeah, that one. You will sleep playing that song in your head, I'm telling you. And then when he shows Dr. Chalice on what's gonna happen when all these kids put on this mask at about, I think, 9 o'clock it is, and he shows a demonstration, and then this kid puts it on, the TV goes on, and then he starts having like brain damage, he falls to the ground, and all these insects start to come out of him with a snake and just bunch of random insects and animals start to come out. It really like it sends like chills down your spine. You start to feel goosebumps because you're like, what am I watching? But these masks have some sort of microchip in the back of them, and it's made from pieces of the Stonehenge. That if you look it up, it's those rocks that it represents some sort of ring, and somewhere in England, I forgot what it is, but you know it by pictures. And somehow they have some sort of power to just kill people and just some sort of undescribable power. That's the part where it doesn't make sense to me, but Cochran's plan is what makes sense. I mean, his diabolical plan of offering sacrifices to children. He's sacrificing children because it's some sort of ritual, pagan ritual that leads to the ancient history of Halloween, of how this all started. I'm talking about the actual Halloween, not this, American thing that we have where it's about going out to get candy, dressing up. No, none of that. And that's what made it more like, wow, this villain, it really is menacing. But the whole Stonehenge thing, yeah, it's like, okay. And I really like the ending. The ending's not some sort of, okay, the heroes won, the villain didn't. It's the way it ends is like Dan Chalice is on the phone and he's trying to get a hold of the TV station. He's like, yeah, turn this channel off. Like, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but just turn it off, turn it off. He's just screaming, and yeah, the way the movie ends, it just finishes off with that, like, oh snap, like people really just died, like children were just killed. And then after I saw it a second time for the first time in about 20 years, I was like, I don't get why people hated it. I mean, like, the only thing I understood was like, okay, people got attached to Michael Myers. They want to see more, and then that's the reason why they hated this movie. But it's like, there's really not a lot to hate on. I mean, no wonder it became one of those standalone cult classics, and I highly support this movie. I mean, I don't really see anything like that for me to just completely trash this movie. So you know what? A lot of people might disagree, but since I do support it, since I did enjoy this, all the nitpicks that I have were not enough to bring down this film. I would say that Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is classic worthy.
An instant classic! Genius, genius, genius!
I saw Halloween 3. If you've seen it or if you're planning on seeing it, which I recommend that you do, go ahead and let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash the like and the subscribe button. Stay tuned for my next video, which we will be revisiting Halloween 4. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.